Kale, thanks for being here today. Tell me a little bit about who you are and why you're here today.
Well, my name is Kale McKisson, and my husband couldn't be here today, and Jeff. And we were foster parents of 6 boys that we adopted in July of 2010. We fostered them for 2 years, and then we adopted.
When you first came to orientation, what were you thinking when you first got in the room and heard the presentation about foster care?
There was a gal there, that Robin, who had, spoke of her story of these 2 infants, and that came on respirators, or they came with medical devices to keep them alive. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, if she can do that, It just that story was so remarkable, and I know it moved Jeff and I so much that we left there empowered to make a difference.
Tell me how you got from your thinking of only wanting to adopt to fostering 6 boys.
God just opened my mind to know that there's a greater need out there, and that I needed to provide it. I had the ability to provide it. I didn't consider or think about any negative experience with it. I didn't think about, what if they go home tomorrow? It didn't matter to me. It mattered why they were in my home. They were going to be taken care of, and as long as I had them, I was going to meet those needs for them. And God has to do the rest if they have to go home. He brought them to me, and if they have to go home, and then He must know that it's safe, and for them to go back home. And if they're not going to go back home and they're going to stay with me, then I'm going to be everything that they need me to be for them.
What were some of the changes that you guys had to think about, where you were going to have to make in order to foster a larger group of boys?
We had to trade in the car, and we had to get ourselves a big van. We didn't really think about it changing our lives. We didn't really think about it changing our family. Excellent. Why couldn't we go and do the things that we've always done? And we have. We've taken the boys out for dinner. We've taken them to NASCAR. We've taken them camping. We come in there's a lot of us that come, but we still enjoy those things, and I'm not letting, they need to have those experiences. Just because you come from a big family, if you're able to do it, we do it.
What was one of the major adjustments for Jeff as he considered being a foster dad to 6 boys?
I think it would be wanting to make sure that he could dedicate his time to his boys.
How do you keep your marriage healthy and strong through the hard job of parenting 6 foster kids and your own son?
Well, we have a schedule, and the boys are in bed by a certain time, and the last 2 hours before is our personal time to connect with each other. We peel away on, at least try to peel away one weekend a month, so we feel like that's our date night, and we hold that sacred. We do it. We hold that, and Faith Bridge, the community of care, has been able to allow us to have that time to do that and to reconnect.
Tell us a little bit how the community of care has been a support for you.
That's our community of care. It's just really been wonderful. There's a couple that we call them up and say, hey, you want a few boys for the weekend? And they take them. Or they have grandparents that, are coming within the community care. I want to thank them, because without the community care, it would be a little more crazy in our home. It really would, and with understanding, But I'm glad for the community care.
Talk a little bit about how you and Jeff have confronted the challenges of family life and particularly fostering?
Parenting is tough, and there's times that you may feel like you're pushed to your limits at the time when you are, and you just have to separate. You have to separate yourself from the situation that's going on, and you have to go into the other room or go upstairs and allow the 20 minutes of just getting away from whatever it is and reapproach the obstacle that's laid out in front of you.
Kale, tell us a little bit about how your biological son, how he has had to adjust, and kind of what were some of the adjustment issues for him as he welcomed 6 sibling foster brothers into the family.
He'd go up to any kid in the supermarket, in the playground, and take them by the arm and say, "You want to be my friend?" And would just, "Mom, can they come home with us?" And you got the other parents going, come here, and he didn't want to be an only child. He wanted playmates. He wanted friends, and he's now very outgoing 5-year-old, and so when we first got into this, I had brothers, and he just welcomed them.
Kale, just for a moment, put yourself in the place of someone who's in orientation right now, and they really can't see themselves fostering, but they really come thinking they would like to adopt, and maybe a child, a newborn, or maybe they're thinking up to age 3. It's kind of like where you were in orientation 3 years ago. What would you say to those people to help them maybe to be open as they go through orientation and eventually to impact, to consider what the needs for children really are and what their potential might be?
It's in your heart. If you have a love for children, these children are not, they don't have a choice in who's going to raise them, where they're going to get their next meal, who's going to love and who's going to nurture them. And as a parent or as an adult, you have that choice. You have that ability to provide for them, to offer them better than where they came. And why wouldn't you?
We had no idea, none at all, that 2 years later you would adopt these children and their 2 sisters would be adopted by someone else in your church, and you would change the world for these kids.
I wasn't going to have it any other way, Bill.